My name's Sean and I'm part of the elders team at Andover Baptist Church. At the start of the second week of these devotions, I'd like to welcome you to day 6, where we've been looking at the theme of encouragement by reading extracts from the Old Testament book of Psalms, which are a set of sacred songs or poems. Have you ever found yourself looking at something, wondering what it would be like to try? Maybe it was some kind of food you'd not eaten before, or friends doing an activity like climbing or canoeing, something you'd like to have a go at, but never quite got around to. You know, of course, that the only way you will ever experience this is by trying, but you haven't yet done so. I have to add here that, of course, not all our desires are right and proper, and I'm only talking about those that God sees as being right for us. David wrote Psalm 34. The Psalms are meant to be sung, and I can just imagine David singing these words in praise to God after what had happened to him. Listen to verses 1 to 8. I will extol the Lord at all times. His praise will always be on my lips. My soul will boast in the Lord. Let the afflicted hear and rejoice. Glorify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame. This poor man called, and the Lord heard him. He saved him out of all his troubles. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him. He delivers them. Taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. David wrote those words after an episode where he'd fled from one king, Saul, and ended up in the presence of another, the king of Gath. He was afraid of this king too, and in order to escape possible harm, he pretended to be insane, and it worked. The king dismissed him as mad. You can read the story in 1 Samuel chapter 21. David had put his trust in God to protect him, even if the method was pretty weird. And God had done just that. And in order to record his praise for God, David wrote the song of Psalms 34. You can hear David shouting God's praises in this song, can't you? Singing of his glory, thanking God for answering his call for help with a yes. And David ends the passage I read by saying, taste and see that the Lord is good. You see, you can imagine what something is like as much as you wish, but unless you actually try it, you'll never know. And in the same way, you can imagine what God is like or how he might help you too, but unless you ask, unless you trust him, you'll never know. He doesn't always say yes. Sometimes he doesn't answer at all. But if the thing you're asking for is right and proper, then that should not stop you from asking. And by asking in this way, you're tasting, and the seeing is every experience you have where you have asked and where you have seen God answer, which will build your faith stronger and will help you to get better at knowing what God sees as being right for you. So today, maybe instead of just thinking about that thing that's been on your mind for a while, why don't you ask God about it? Trust him to do the right thing for you, and whatever the answer, trust that that answer is the right one. Taste and see that the Lord is good. Let's speak with God together. Lord, I thank you that I can trust you 100%. I know from past experience that your answers are always right, even if I sometimes wished that the answers were different. May I involve you more in my day-to-day, and may I have the courage to taste and see how good you are over and over again. Amen. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope you can join us again tomorrow for the next part of our devotions.